Welcome to Arts Talk TV, where we share the creative perspective and get the conversation started. Hi, I'm Karina Lawrence and welcome to Arts Talk TV. We're here at Miami Marketo, which is an awesome creative hub on the Gold Coast. You can enjoy live music and some yummy street food as well, so make sure you check it out if ever you're around the area. Today on the show, I have a beautiful guest. He has featured as a soloist in ballet companies throughout Europe, has his own design company, produces film all over the world. Please welcome to the show, the awesome Aaron Smyth.
Thanks for having me.
So Aaron, let's go back a little bit. You're a local Gold Coast boy.
I am.
So you trained mostly on the Gold Coast?
Yep, all my life up until I was 17.
Right.
Yeah.
And classical ballet, clearly.
Yeah, and also I actually started in tap and jazz. I always had that sort of like love for that, you know, art form as well, because I'm going into the performance. Yeah. It's like entertaining and performance, yeah. And I see myself going to that now. And It's so funny I went the ballet route, but I'm so grateful I did, because it certainly got me all the opportunities that I have. Yeah.
So I want to focus on that a little bit, because you've won multiple awards all around the world based on that. You initially received a full scholarship to the American Ballet Theatre to train over there.
Yes.
How old were you when you moved over to America? What an incredible achievement.
Yeah, it was a mind-blowing experience at the time. I was 17, 18, and 2008 was a very abundant year for me. I kind of moved to New York. I got third on Australia's Got Talent, and I won the gold medal at the Genet International Ballet Competition, and it was the Olympics that year too, so it felt very victorious, you know?
Yes.
Like, I was just like, oh, my life is, it was a very monumental year, and for me, like a life-changing year for sure, and I was so passionate and I worked so hard up until that moment.
So what were some of the things that you felt, I'm sure you grew a lot in that time.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you felt that challenged you, I guess, in that moving overseas?
Me and my mum have a great relationship, and leaving her was really hard, but I know leaving the nest was the biggest growth for me to be self-sufficient and grow up really fast and adapt to a city like New York. I didn't know a soul, but I always had that fascination with America from such a young age. I just felt at home as well, being in America as well. But the first 3 months were extremely difficult.
In regards to the workload that you had, or just adjusting? Adjusting. And then I gave myself, I think any situation, it takes a good 3 months to get used to like your surroundings. I was so passionate about being in New York and studying ballet, and I had really big goals to just, you know, keep going. Yeah.
So, yeah.
You performed with the Royal Ballet again.
Yeah, another dream company.
Raising the bar.
Just raising the bar, I know.
Joffrey Ballet. You were a principal dancer with the State Street Ballet and Joburg Ballet.
Yeah, that's right.
And then from your ballet theme, you also starred in the Disney's Nutcracker.
Yeah, the
movie.
Feature film. Yeah.
Like,
it's
wow.
Yeah, these are moments where I just go, I just have to trust, you know, like everything's always going to be working out for us, you know.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure to be perfect body image.
Yep.
And I feel like those ballerinas really live and breathe it. I mean, I've seen so many talented young Australian dancers that get accepted into schools to study overseas at 13, 14.
Yeah.
And sadly, either based on injury or just lose their way for a little while.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for anybody in that circumstance?
I would really ask yourself, is this what I want to, firstly, do I want to climb up that mountain? Because you're at the bottom of the mountain and you're going off on this adventure and you go, yeah, do I want to become a ballerina? And if so, go up the mountain, but go up with unwavering faith. Just remember that, you know, that little girl who started dancing from a little boy.
Yep.
Who started dancing from that young age.
Your why, remember
your
why.
And like, it's because it's in me, it's not because I'm having to do it, or I'm a lot of parents sacrifice you to go on this path, so you have to really be sure. If you love it, you should just flourish and shine.
You also featured in the First Position documentary.
That's right, yeah.
Tell us about, because that's sort of the competition world in the ballet stream, and that opens up a lot of opportunities for up-and-comings to be accepted into schools to train and study.
And even company jobs and stuff. That's how I got my I've done about 6 international ballet competitions. The head judge there was the artistic director of the Joffrey. And then, so we stayed connected through many years, and then he offered me a job for the Joffrey years later. So you always have to be nice to people.
Yeah, definitely.
And connections, and you never know where the connection will lie.
Yeah.
Even in your interaction at the coffee shop,
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So, and you'll go
And
like,
maybe
oh my
like
God.
at a different time.
Yeah, 10
as
years
well.
down the track.
Yeah.
So I've seen that pattern roll out in my life
Yeah.
where like you just have to be cordial and just be kind, normal, nice
Well,
person.
respectful,
Just
be who you are,
Yeah, be who you
you
are.
know?
Yeah, so those competitions really helped me actually find a path for myself. You're kind of putting yourself on display
Yeah.
in those competitions, and people are watching.
Do you feel pressure? Like, is there like?
Oh,
I feel like
yes.
from watching that documentary and knowing other young dancers, that
Yeah.
it just like, because you feel like it's your make or break opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the truth though?
A lot of people don't thrive under pressure. For me, I love it, and I think I do really well. But for some people, it can break them. That's on stage, you're under pressure. So if you don't cope well, you have to ask yourself, is this the profession I want to go in? Because you're going to be battled and forced with that on a night-to-night basis if you're performing 8 shows a week.
Yeah,
So
it's very true. To go through, like you're either in the quarter ballet to principal. What's the stairway in a company?
like in just say the Royal Ballet or even American Ballet Theatre, they are big companies, and they've been around for a long time, and there's a hierarchy there. And you have to respect that. And going into
the culture.
It's a culture, and you do. But what I see, and I think a lot of ballet dancers can vouch as well at the same time, is they're just waiting, and they've got talent. And it is all timing, it's divine timing.
Yeah.
It's whether you're in the right place at the right time. It doesn't mean that someone's more talented than you, it's just that artistic director who it's all up to him or her, whoever is in the position.
Yeah.
If they like you or if they don't like you, then what are you going to do? You have to ask yourself, I better leave if I want to have a flourishing career. Even the Joffrey, they have no position, sort of in a way.
So you're just a company member.
Company member, and it's more likely that you would get an opportunity to perform a principal role and a soloist role. So in that environment, I think it is quite nice because it's kind of shared. It's kind of like a more harmonious.
So I didn't realise that you love painting, and
I know.
you sell paintings as well.
I sold actually a few paintings.
Wow.
I sold paintings, I write, then
You do your
filmmaking.
filming?
It's just like I guess it's another extension of my creativity.
Yeah.
And obviously I love capturing dances as well, which is like beautiful.
I've seen some of your work. You have featured stunning dancers from all over the world, and some beautiful landmarks as well, which is the advantage of, I guess, being able to travel with
absolutely.
your work.
Like I feel like I haven't really gone on a holiday. My work has taken me to these extravagant locations. I'm sure a lot of artists will be in the same boat. It's just like, oh my gosh. And like my mum's like come to long as well. She's like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have seen this, you know, the Great Wall of China. You know, so. Going
through the list of these medals and awards that you did, Best Performer in Shanghai, a silver medalist in Istanbul, bronze medalist and the Choreography Award in USA, silver medalist being in the International Ballet and Choreography of the competition, again silver medalist in Cape Town International Ballet Competition, gold medalist in the Genet, and Audience Choice.
That's right. I know, when I look at that, I'm like, wow, I've done a lot. I'm like, getting the Audience Choice Award is really another indicator that I am a performer and connecting to that audience. Because not a lot of people, some people can be excellent classroom dancers, but when they tackle the stage, it's another feat. And you're battling with energies from the audience, and you're like, whoa, what am I going to do with this? And I just thrive off it. It's just like, I feel at home.
Yeah, and do you feel like at the end of the day, you're like, I'm here living, I've got this opportunity, so I'm just going to give it my all. Ultimately, so that it's not really relying on the reaction of anybody else.
No, and it's just like me giving my gift or talent. So I just always remember that night I performed at the Genet and receiving that, I just went out and just gave, like I was just like, I'm here.
Got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. And prior to that, I would always overthink it. And throughout my career, we always get in that analytical mind.
Yeah. In those analytical moments, do you feel like, is it the doubt that creeps in?
Yeah, doubt.
Wondering whether you can pull it off?
Yeah. What if I'm pulling it? What are these people thinking? Or
Yeah.
especially if I know who's in the audience,
Right.
I'll think of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, so just don't tell me who's in the audience. It's
So
great.
just focus on your craft.
Yeah, exactly.
Focus on your why.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
the older you get, it's kind of like, because when you're younger, you're very like fearless.
Yeah,
And
interesting.
the older I get, I'm really like, I have to like... More aware, and I have to really talk to myself. I'm like, Aaron, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
I get my stage fright.
Wow,
Like, it's so funny.
I can
you know what I
relate to
mean?
that. Yeah.
But I always have to remember, I always think back to little Aaron, and like, we just go out there,
Yeah.
you know, and just
Yeah.
like dance it.
That's beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that. We've talked a little bit about you're on America's Got Talent.
Yes, and Australia's Got
I
Talent.
know,
actually.
Australia's Got Talent, third place by
Third
memory.
place, yeah.
Like, so which happened first? America's
Australia's
Got
Got
Australia's
Talent.
Got Talent.
Yeah. I left
Yeah.
there, I was 16, and gosh, it was my mum never pushes me to do anything, but she pushed me to do this one because she just happened, she sent my audition in to the producers and they're like, yeah, great, let's have them on. And from that moment, I really grew as well. Like, it was nice to be on TV and get some really great video content as well.
What's the environment like that's, say, different to live performances in the studio or in the
Well,
television?
to be honest, it's just we had an audience, which was nice,
Yeah.
but even when I was in the film, The Nutcracker, it's really different. There's nothing. It's just a camera and this playback, and it's just like...
My experience with camera too is you actually have to push your energy more so
Yeah.
because the camera takes some of the energy away.
It takes 50% out,
Yeah.
and you're like, I was really going for it there,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, it doesn't look like I
Yeah.
am, you know. The comparison to live and on set and on screen, it's completely different.
Yeah.
And I think what I would love to do is strike a balance between that, and I think a lot of performers would too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like the energy that you have in regards to TV and stuff like that is the aftermath because
Yeah.
you get the reaction from the viewers.
Absolutely, exactly,
Yeah.
and it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and then just recently you finished doing Billy Elliot where you played Billy.
Older Billy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you really are the living story of Billy Elliot in some ways.
I think I was, and when I got it, I was like, oh, I think this is my greatest achievement. I've done his story, and I was like, I could see the little boy when I first met the little Billies on our first day of rehearsal. I was like, oh, like cried. It was me. I was looking at myself, and then I'm the person he wants to look up to or become, and I've done that journey.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, it's just this full 360 moment.
So what about growing up? Did you get bullied?
Yeah, I got bullied. I happened to be really good at sport, which really helped me actually at school because I ended up beating everyone at like running and in athletics, so they couldn't really bully me because I was beating them in sport.
Yeah.
So, but not every person has that sort of story to back them up. And I think at a young age it's hard to do that too when a bully is, you know, and it's not about them, it's about their insecurities that they're projecting onto you. So if someone is bullying you, I guess, you know, they're the one having a hard time, and just send them love because they'll go away. Like, I know it's hard to send them love because they're hurting.
Yeah.
It's not you. You're triggering something in them that they see in you. And at the end of the day, if they're bullying you, they're seeing a light in you that they don't have.
Yeah.
So
you were also the West End original cast member of An American in Paris, which is a beautiful musical.
oh, it's so beautiful.
So traditional.
And I love how, I've done 2 musicals now. I love how Billy Elliot and An American in Paris had that ballet element.
Yeah.
So I could, it was a really lovely transition.
Okay, you're also the founder of Dance for Humanity.
Yes, I produced a show.
What was your reason behind that?
Oh gosh, so I went to Ethiopia that year. We danced and helped raise funds to feed 202 children for a year in Ethiopia.
Wow.
I just felt like, oh, I'd love to do this in Australia.
Yeah.
And it's creative, it's producing, I love producing, I love creating. And I thought it was just a beautiful thing.
It was. I remember seeing the show and you had a violinist that you danced with and, you know, but also to be giving back and making a difference to other people.
Well, that's it. And I'd love to certainly
Contribute more.
contribute and produce more of them in the future.
You featured in in an Armani shoot for fashion and modelling. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, gosh, that was back in my New York days, and it was weird. We're at the JKO school, and the ballerina, Misty Copeland, who was in the Nutcracker, she was doing this shoot for Armani. There was 10 of us in this spread in W magazine.
And you used your dance like it was a feature based on dancers?
Yeah. Sort of,
wow.
and we're in W magazines. I think for dancers as well, they can easily change and move into that, and it was quite, you're like performing as well.
And then what about, like, you've studied in acting, obviously you've had the experience in the different films, based more from the dance side of things, but do you see yourself in the future, does acting interest you, or? Yeah,
it's funny you say that, because I always got offered random little things throughout my life for TV shows coming up, and I always had someone that knew me going, can you read this and this for this upcoming TV show that obviously involved dance, and I was like, oh, I love this acting, and I think being a ballet dancer and in these big ballets, you're basically acting, like you're portraying these characters. And then when I was on the set for Disney's Nutcracker, we were like with Keira Knightley and Morgan Freeman and all these wonderful actors, and it's just another facet of performing.
You've achieved some extraordinary things in your career and at a very young age. So what about knockbacks? As I know you mentioned beforehand that it seems that things have been very easy, that you've had opportunities and you've taken them. I feel like that is another part of a showcase of character. How do you deal with them though, and how did you deal with them? Is it something that you've always been aware of? When
I look at knockbacks, I think back to my life where in 2008 I was performing with American Ballet Theatre and in the junior company, and the opportunity to advance into the next company, the major company, it was my dream, like, to dance with that company. And the economic crash happened, and we essentially all the junior company got fired, let go. And it was just that moment of, I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, my dream has been taken out, like the rug. So then, redirect my life, I ended up getting more guesting opportunities, which has opened up that beautiful door to that. And I've been to South Africa 15 times, and I had a beautiful collaboration with the company down there. But then from that silver lining, I got into the Royal Ballet, which is, you know, you can get an immense loss, and then there'll be a positive, like the equally positive, like,
I feel as long as you stay to your course, which is ultimately belief, even if you feel like you don't know exactly where you're going, as long as you stay in the truth of believing in yourself, that's when the magic will always come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we have a bit of a fun factor that we do at the end of our series here.
I love that.
It's called the Shutter Speed Challenge.
Wow.
Yeah, you up for that?
I'm up for it.
All right, so just whatever comes to mind.
I love it. These
as fast as we can. No pressure whatsoever.
Oh, God.
Last song you listened to?
Gypsy, Fleetwood Mac.
Okay. What does creativity mean to you?
Inspiration.
Person you'd most like to meet?
Oh, gosh. Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, he's a bit amazing. What question would you ask him?
Yeah, can I dance with you? How's it going?
Last piece of art that really affected you?
The piece that I painted.
If you had to label creativity with a colour, what colour would you choose?
Green, because it's my favourite colour and because it's everywhere.
What would you miss most about the arts?
People not seeing theatre.
Okay, what's on your bedside table?
Crystals. Lots of them.
Yeah. What chore do you most dislike doing?
In the washing.
The machine does that.
The machine does that, I know. Exactly. Hanging on the line, there we go. I know.
In one word, what does art mean to you?
Beauty.
Gorgeous. Yes. Thank you, Aaron Smyth, for joining us. We are so privileged to have you here.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
And shining your light with a beautiful example, as you always do.
Thank you.
glad you could join us today on our arts channel.